So we've come to our last study of the year in the sermon series, Your Heart, Your Treasure. And we're going to focus our last study on Psalm 119. And let me read you a couple of verses that come from Psalm 119, 37 and 38. It says this: "Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways." Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things. When I think about that term worthless, I think about things of value and things that are not of value. And immediately I think about money. Something that we don't often like to talk about, especially in church settings, but something that God's Word speaks a lot to and Jesus spoke about all the time. How we steward what God has given us. And I think about how we are to find in our lives and define in our lives and incline our lives to God's ways rather than our own, in our generosity, in our gain, in our value, in what we have and what we have been given by God, as He has stewarded us to steward His things. Start over. I said the wrong 2 verses.
Oh, there is a Bible behind you too, if you want to.
Well, I got kind of sidetracked in because I was thinking about, no, I better bring that other verse into it. Okay. So we've come to our last study in our sermon series, Your Heart, Your Treasure. It's also our last study of the year. And we make our way to Psalm 119. And I'm going to read for you verses 36 and 37, where our focus will be for this study. It says this: "Incline my heart to your testimonies and not for selfish gain." And the term gain there speaks into where our focus will be in this study. When I think about gain, I think about money. I think about success. And what the verses speak to is that there's 2 ways of doing life. There is doing life God's way, and there's doing life the world's way. And the world's way always leads to something selfish, something internal, and ultimately destruction. God's ways always lead to abundant life and blessing, whether we're talking about internally or externally. And this is where we find our insight and value in living out for the abundant life, or stewarding what God has given us. And so I want you to think about this for a second. What does it look like to steward God's blessings for His glory and His gain rather than for our own? Because it follows up the next verse this way: "Turn my eyes from looking at worthless things and give me life in your ways." Turn my attention, align my attention to your ways, God. Because all the other things are, in the end, worthless. Necessary, yes, in this life, but not eternal. And that's why God wants us to follow His ways to abundant life. In this study, you're going to cover a series of questions that talk about our money, talk about our time, talk about our gifts. And in them, we're going to be challenged with the thought, with the idea: are we stewarding them for selfish gain, or are we stewarding them for God's glory? And in it, I want you to personalize these questions in this study and reflect on whether or not you are honoring God in this way in your life. And are you being generous in what God has given you? Take some time to go through this study and personalize this, and I hope you enjoy it.